Alright, we've got 2 packages. First one is a simple open it like that. I did feel that the sleeve was a little loose. But fortunately I didn't cut it. Maybe I wouldn't have. And then we've got this one. Alright. So let's begin. We've got Dr. Stone New World, which would be Season 3. Does it say anywhere on here? Season 3, Part 1. Okay. Now if we look at the back, regions A and B. Okay. DVDs 1, 2, and 4. Interesting. Audio, there's both English and Japanese. Which is about what we'd expect. Not the same under the slip, or not different underneath the slip cover, but you know, it's okay. The real problem is that this plastic is just having trouble getting a start on it. This is Blu-ray plus DVD. Alright. Got some episode listings. Blu-ray 1 and 2, DVD 1 and 2, and a picture. Cool stuff. We have saving 80,000 gold. I think that says in another world, but another world. Yeah, I could not read it with the yellow on black. For my retirement. Yes. Blu-ray. Should be regions A and B. So there's dub in Japanese. There's also French dub, which is interesting. Different underneath the slipcover. I think that's actually a really nice combo. Because you know that's kind of a pretty gold one, but this isn't. It's a pretty isekai-ish one. Let's see. Oh, let me check. Disc 1, Disc 2. Simple symbols. Oh yeah, there we go. That's on the series. The Galaxy Next Door. A Galaxy Next Door, which looked neat. I never did see it. Regions A and B. English dub, Japanese with English subtitles. So it's fairly standard stuff. Good underneath the slipcover. I'm more used to this. I think this is what was on the Crunchyroll page. But I could be mistaken recently. Definitely feels more like what was done there. All I know is this plastic is in a little... there we go. Blu-ray 1. Blu-ray 2. Nice art for the background. And then last but not least, we have Dead Mount Death Play Part 1. This would presumably be Season 1, Part 1. Oh, different underneath the slipcover. Did not check the back to see what we had, but I guess I'll do that after I take this plastic off. Assuming this plastic is reasonable about coming out. Come on, plastic. Okay, let's take a look at the back real quick. That's regions A and B. English, Japanese, French, and German dubs. Wow. It's a lot of dubbing. This show, I definitely liked it very early on, and some of the ideas it was playing with were good. Just felt like, as a show, it became too distracted from its main premise. But, you know, maybe other people don't mind it as much. Anyway, here's this week's physical anime collection update. Alright, so let's see. Beginning with the stuff I watched with my Friday friend. Episode 54 of Reincarnated as a Slime Season 3, dubbed version. And I think my friend's comments at that time kind of reflect some of my own, I suppose. Where, yeah, you know, it felt like it was another episode that went back into, oh, they're having another big meeting and stuff isn't happening. So it felt like it distanced itself from some of the stuff. So Season 3 just, you know, begins with a lot of people having big meetings sort of stuff. It feels noticeable. Jobless Reincarnation, dubbed Season 2 episodes, dubbed episode 17. And I think I said last week I watched 13 and 14 with friends, but it was actually 15, 16. Anyways, the point is, you know, we watched that episode and it was okay rewatching. You know, it's thematically highly relevant to the fundamental premise of the show. And once again, you know, seeing the name of the next episode, Jesus Christ, I'm yawning and talking, sorry. You know, it's a scary episode name. But then, with my Friday friend, we finally started rewatching, or continuing watching Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2. We watched episodes 29 through 31. And let me see, 29 was surprising because it felt like when we finished 28, it's like, okay, this feels like it ended the flashback stuff, but 29 was one more flashback episode. So it's like, yeah, okay, got that out of the way. And then 30 and 31. What exactly happened in those? I remember. Okay, so probably one of them involved that. There was probably some other stuff that happened, but I guess I miss our main character. He's cool, and they had an episode where we got to see him doing some neat Very Him sort of stuff. It was actually kind of neat, and has to do with him meeting somebody from middle school that we didn't know. So, just kind of cool. But episode 31, they started setting up, no, somewhere between those two episodes, they also had that big stuff going on, which was okay, and it was neat, and maybe some people who like that character especially are probably enjoying it, but I don't know, it's a little bit of a distraction, but it's okay, maybe. Oh, maybe. Konosuba, Season 3, Episode 7. I was really scared that Kazuma was going to turn into an asshole. Like, the episode definitely wanted you to think that was maybe potentially going to happen. But no. He's the same person as he usually is. Which isn't necessarily to say he's the best person, but I don't know. I kind of feel like he's better than Aqua. Just as a human being. But, let's see. What else might have happened in the episode? I'm blanking right now. I just remember being amused by it. Mysterious Disappearances, Episode 7. I guess it was mostly neat stuff. Archdemon's Dilemma, How to Love Your Elf Bride, Episode 9. I think this episode definitely began doing what I was kind of hoping it would do based on where Episode 8 was going. So what happened after that? Yeah, I guess amusing, entertaining enough stuff. Trying to remember where it ended, if it ended in something that I should be looking forward to coming up this coming Thursday. A Salad Bowl of Eccentrics, Episode 8. I remember this one actually feeling neat and interesting. Like, I guess the problem is it's had a lot of episodes up to this point where it's just like doing stuff, and it's like, well, is it really building on a premise? Is it meant to? It feels like it set something up that could be built up upon, but was maybe just being kind of whimsical as it went, unless it was trying to build up a girl band thing for a character other than the main character, which is entertaining, but again, it felt like a bit of a distraction. But I feel like this episode focused on a lot of more important stuff. Maybe not like deep stuff or serious, but definitely stuff that I'd say is more in line with some of the fundamental premise of it. So, I'd say it was a decent episode. Delicious in Dungeon, episode 21. What happened in this one? That stuff. Serious developments going on as the show seems to be getting closer and closer to aiming for a potential series finale, a big thing to happen. And I think it's doing some good setup. There's definitely an interesting curiosity. See, and as for Reincarnated Slime Season 3, Episode 56, the more recent episode that I watched on my own, subtitled, I think it was pretty entertaining. Maybe some worrisome stuff there about how it's like, there should be multiple people here saying, hold on, there's some miscommunication happening here. Although miscommunication isn't quite the right word, since there's some deliberate sabotaging of information. But, I don't know. It does feel like it's aiming in a direction to end in a very Reincarnated as a Slime way anyways. Which is fine. Irregular at Magic High, Season 3, Episode 8. I guess it was entertaining enough. We had a bunch of stuff happen. But I forget how it ended because I guess it sort of wrapped things up. But it also, I guess, set things up for the next story arc. Because I think the preview for the next episode said the next one is something else. But I guess it was good enough. Train to the End of the World, Episode 8. A bit of a silly, whimsical sort of episode, I suppose. I think giving us more information that the previous episode started building up, that's kind of hints as to what we might expect from the end of the series, I suppose. It's okay. God's Games We Play, Episode 8. So Episode 7 set up a game to happen. Episode 8, we got to see it play out, and it was okay enough. Yeah, okay enough. And then they set up for what Episode 9 is going to do, which seems okay. Kaiju number 8, Episode 7 was entertaining. I would not say it was as great as some of the greatest of the episodes that have happened so far, but this show's had some seriously high highs that I'd really like to go back and rewatch certain scenes. I'm trying to remember. I think this one might have had a couple scenes that would be neat to go back and rewatch. Good stuff. Newgate, Episode 7. I guess it's okay. I think it's similar to the previous episode in that it's like, it's doing stuff, and it feels like it's moving forward, but there's something about it that feels slow, and I think it's mostly, like, it's doing stuff that are predictable in a way that doesn't feel like they would necessarily pay out. And it's not the entirety of the episodes like that, but portions of it feel sort of like that, I suppose. So, it's an okay episode. Let's scroll down to... Oh, holy shit. The font size is zooming instead of it scrolling up and down, which means that something is on the keyboard. Probably scroll lock. I don't see what it is. I'll figure it out. We've got Reincarnated Aristocrat, Episode 8, which I guess was neat enough and kind of got back a little bit into the main theme of the show from a different angle, but in a way that, establishes the next set of stuff that's going to be doing. So, off to a good start. Jobless Reincarnation, Season 2, Episode 19. Because Episode 8, this episode was delayed a week, so it was nice to see it. Entertaining stuff. Sorry, I just immediately got distracted by something else. Gotta keep thinking about this. I guess a bit of an adventure, and this one's not trying to make it as moment to moment. So it feels like it's covering some material faster, but I feel like the material it's covering might have been fast in the original source material as well. because from a story perspective, most of it isn't too notable. Just interesting stuff to see along the way and us getting impressions of stuff, I guess. And they're getting close to the next important milestone. And then we get to everything that aired today, and let's just thank the people that, continue working on Memorial Day. A lot of companies get the day off as a, federal holiday sort of thing, or a company holiday. But then you still have people in the service industry who work on the day, and, hopefully their day went very well, and they had a good day, and they maybe got paid a little bit extra or something. Tsukimichi, Season 2, Episode 21. So Episode 20 was pretty neat. 21 feels like another sort of setup episode, sort of. I mean, it's got a couple action things in there. Some of them are just to hold us over sort of stuff. Some of them are showing us what another engagement was going on. But we finally get one that's a setup for whatever's going to happen in the next episode. It has to do with our main character a bit more than the others. So, it's okay episode. Seventh Prince, Episode 9. Interestingly enough, I think the first episode in which a confrontation is kind of going on throughout the entire episode, but it's not over by the end of the episode, and it didn't begin at the beginning of the episode. So it's, kind of a big important thing. Yeah, I guess I'm just... It was entertaining. Just curious to see where it's going to go from there. Monster, Episode 9. I think a lot of actually fun stuff. Although, the show does tend to err a little bit more on fun as opposed to exciting, I think. Although, some of the stuff was slightly exciting. I don't know. If I were to compare it to something else, like, say, Skeleton Knight from Another World, I kind of feel like Skeleton Knight was more exciting. And if I were to try to guess why that is, it's probably because... I guess for Monster, if there's any issue I have with it, it's that they do establish that our main character does get more abilities, but it almost feels like it's not as relevant. Like, sometimes they say, okay, now this one little thing is relevant, but it's like a deluge of stuff, and it's like, well, how much should we care about all that stuff? I don't know. And maybe we shouldn't, but it still feels like a bit of a problem. Spice and Wolf, Episode 9. This is actually a good third act, where our characters are at their lowest low. And I do remember this being kind of interesting. I don't remember the details. I do remember, yeah, there's some interesting stuff they ended up doing here. Otherwise, just kind of enjoying the banter, the setup, and wanting to see where it's going. It's a good drama. And then finally, Chilling in Another World with Level 2 Super Cheat Powers, Episode 8. Again, continuing to be an interesting series. I almost feel like there's some comparability between it and Arc Demon, but Arc Demon is better. And I guess if I were to say why, it's because with Level 2 Cheat Powers, maybe it sort of feels like some things have lined up in a way that's maybe not exactly convenient for the main character, but just sort of convenient for the presentation in a little bit. But I guess one of the nice things about this episode, it did give us some important stuff to digest that probably leads more into the end of the series, since a lot of the series are starting to get close to the end of this first season. So yeah, that's all the stuff. Can't think of anything else to really talk about, so I'll go ahead and wrap this up. Y'all have a nice week.